Ange, Michael and Sky, welcome to Tottenham Hotspur. What does it feel like to be the Tottenham Hotspur manager?
Yeah, really good. Obviously, it's been a little while now, but yeah, look, delighted to be here. Looking forward to the massive challenge ahead, which I was well aware of before taking on the responsibility, and looking forward to working with the players and the staff, and being part of a really strong competition.
It was a brilliant few years for you at Celtic, but at the start of the season, there was a lot of players that left when you joined the club. You had to do a lot of recruitment at the start, didn't you? And is that a bit of patience required for these supporters?
Look, it's fair to say every sort of position I've had has kind of needed some sort of rebuild, and as I said, I had a brilliant 2 years at Celtic. Loved every minute of it, but it was challenging, particularly at the start. And I don't know if it's about patience. I mean, you can't ask people to feel a certain way or to sort of dampen expectations. I think what I've tried to do wherever I've been, and including Celtic, is allow them to form their own opinion with what they see rather than what I say. And like I said, we had a massive rebuild at Celtic, but I think at the beginning, even though the results weren't there, the supporters could see what we were trying to do and got behind us. And I don't know whether it's going to be a rocky start for us or a good start for us, but either way, my hope and my desire and what I'm going to try and do is give our supporters hope and belief that we're going to embark on something special.
You made some exciting signings already, and it could be a big-ish squad, so some undoubtedly will leave too. In terms of the short-term planning, are there certain players, like Harry Kane, where you have to say, he's got to stay, he's part of my plans, it's imperative?
So it's question 3, and it was Harry, was it? Okay, we were running a pool with the coaches. I think Mile Jednak won, actually. I had over 6 because I thought you'd care more about me than Harry. But no, look, I think in terms of the squad, as I said, it's fair to say, I think the reason that I'm here is because the club is seeking change, change in direction, change in the way we do things, and that usually transpires in the change in personnel, squad and players and staff. And within that context, my role right at this minute is to deal with what's in front of me, the certainties I have, knowing that there are going to be many uncertainties, and trying to tick off one by one the path forward for us, and that is what our squad's going to look like. May take a little while until the season starts before we have clarity on that, but within that, I can't wait for that moment to start working. We've started already. Thank you, bud.
Becky.
Hi, welcome to the Premier League. Becky, I was from the Premier League. Was it always your goal or ambition to work in the Premier League, and how much are you relishing challenging your philosophies, tactics against the other managers?
I can't say it was a goal. I've come literally from the other side of the world, so it's kind of been I've just wanted to experience as much as I can throughout my career and see where that takes me. And every challenge I've had is I've enjoyed, I've embraced wherever I've worked, whether that's in different countries, different leagues, national team or club football. But the Premier League is the strongest competition, as you said. Some of the best managers in the world are in this competition. Some of the strongest teams in the world are in this competition, and why wouldn't you want to embrace that? And it's another opportunity for me to do what I do, in a different competition with different sort of fundamentals around it, and experience something else in my career that I hadn't. Like I said, it wasn't an ambition of mine, but certainly, everything I've done, I've tried to do the best of my ability so that it gives me more experiences that I can say, have given me a career that, I've realised everything I wanted to do.
Do you have any preconceived ideas about what the season might be like ahead, and do you set goals along the way?
No on both, because I think going in with sort of preconceived ideas might be limiting, as is making goals. I think, again, from the outset, what's important is that we try and establish some sort of key principles of who we want to be, first of all. and not just in the way we play, the way we behave, the way we train, the way we interact with one another, the way we interact with everyone else, and then see where that takes us. Because goals are great, but they can also sort of stifle you a little bit because you become a bit narrow. And the reality of it is we're going to have to do things and be fairly flexible along the way to adjust to whatever challenge there may be ahead of us. So we don't know what they are. Sometimes you, with all the best planning and sort of trying to have foresight in these kind of things, things come across your path, and we've got to be agile enough to adjust to that. And as I said, see where that takes us. But, we're a big club, and the end goal for all big clubs is to have success, and that's what we want to try and do.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
G'day.
That's a good start. Yeah, g'day. How are you, mate?
How much of a step up from the SPL
I don't know about step ups. I mean, I had the same question when I got to the SPL, but I've coached at a World Cup, so I've coached it, in different leagues. I think every challenge is the same, to be honest, because it's relative to the competition you're in. So, I've never gone into any job thinking, oh, this is going to be easy. In comparison to anything else I've done, is this going to be a massive challenge? Absolutely, but Celtic was a massive challenge. I mean, I know people sort of say that, in Scotland, if you're Celtic, you can finish, you're either going to finish first or second, but second is last. Second, I'm not in the job. So you have to finish first. So, that's irrespective of kind of what outside thoughts are, there's still a demand there. And it's not just about winning, it's the manner in which you win as well. There's an expectation around your way you play your football, particularly for me, who I'm pretty explicit in saying I want my teams to play a certain way, so that has to be reflective of how we do things. So I've never seen anything I've done as a step up. I just see it as a different challenge, a different set of circumstances, because with every, what other people perceive as a step up in level, you're working with also better players and, a bigger organisation, more resources, so all those kind of things are relative. So I don't dismiss any success at any level for anybody in life, because, as I said, I can guarantee you even the lowest levels of what we perceive of whether that's football or life, somebody is grafting to be successful against the relative competition. So, I've never seen it as a step up. I just see it as a new challenge for me.
You're going to be, I understand, meeting with Harry Kane, or you may already have met with Harry Kane. Is that conversation you finding out from him what he wants in terms of staying now and beyond this season, or is it for you to convince him of what you can offer Spurs so he does want to stay, or both?
Yeah, I just think, I don't think it's my role to, sit there and sort of treat people in a manner because of their circumstances. I'm really big on just treating everyone the same. And Harry is, he's already entrenched himself in the history of this football club. He's a very important part. He's the premier striker, one of the premier strikers in the world, and I want him involved here. My conversation with him will be about how we can make this club successful. And I've got no doubt that that's what he wants as well. So within that context, whatever sort of that narrows into the personal stuff around Harry himself as an individual. If the conversation takes it that way, we'll take it that way. But I doubt it's going to be, defining in the manner that I think people think it's going to be. It's not going to be a conversation where, we walk out of that room, we've got sort of an understanding, because I don't want that kind of conversation. What I want is to introduce myself to Harry, to give him my sort of vision for the football club, to get an understanding from him of what he thinks this football club needs to be successful. And we go on that training pitch and trying to make it happen.
And final one for me, I presume that if he stays, he'll be your captain this season. What's happening with Hugo Lloris and some other maybe senior players that we understandably, let's believe, might be leaving the club this summer?
Yeah, as I said, even that, sort of around the captaincy and that, it's not at the forefront of my mind right now. What's at the forefront of my mind is trying to establish, the direction we're going to go as a football club, and trying to be as clear to people about that, about me and all these kind of things. Because if I start thinking about that kind of detail right now, I'm going to miss the opportunity to really establish some of the, like I said, fundamentals of what I want us to be. And in terms of the squad, look, we're in that stage like most clubs where you kind of know that there will be activity between now and the start of the season, the end of the window, and there will be some players who won't be here and other players who will come in. Again, in my mind, I try and treat that with the understanding that until something's certain, I'm not going to commit myself either way to, whether a player's going to be here or not, because, again, no point wasting energy on something that may or may not happen. So, so far the lads we've had in have been excellent. The way they've approached things, the staff have been brilliant in sort of adapting and implementing the things I want, and, we'll keep moving along. We'll get all the rest of the sort of group back in the next couple of days, so it'll be great to see everyone in the building.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, mate.
Sammy.
Hi, I'm Sammy from BeanymanSports. I wonder what did you make of some of the fans' reaction to your appointment? Some of them took to social media to show that they're not happy with this appointment. Does that make you feel is it a challenge you need to prove to them that you can do?
I've never taken social media as a barometer of me as a person. I'd hate to think anyone does, because, there's more to life than who we are. Unless you've actually polled every single Tottenham supporter around the world and you've come out with a defining majority that don't want me here, I'd suggest that, what comes out of social media. Look, I think supporters with every appointment have their right to reserve their judgment. Absolutely, why not? Because this is their football club, and everyone who comes through their football club, they have a right to determine whether they think it's the right person or not. I think for the most part, I'm pretty sure the overwhelming majority of Tottenham supporters want me to be successful, because if I'm successful, it means their club's successful, and I think they'll wait and see and reserve judgment on me when that comes. But it doesn't affect me. I mean, it's not like, I feel like I'm battling against any tide or anything. To be honest, I've felt overwhelming support since I've been here. The people I've come across, outside of here have all been very supportive in terms of, Tottenham fans. So, rather than sort of troll through social media to find, what's said about me, I'll go on the feeling I have at the moment.
On the Harry Kane conversation, did you seek any assurance from the club about him staying or not? And him staying or not will have any impact on what can you achieve this season?
No, I haven't had any assurances, and I wouldn't expect any assurances, because, again, with these kind of things, you're never dealing in definites or, in certainties in anything in life. So, and I've never, again, it's just my nature that I kind of go along and try and concentrate on the things that I know right now. And what I know right now is that, Harry's part of this squad, and, he's looking forward to coming back to training and getting amongst the players and back in here, and we start working together. And again, if I spend too much time worrying about the impact that it may have either way, I'm going to miss trying to build a team, because ultimately that's what's going to make us successful. If we build a team that plays football a certain way, that's going to be, and I'm not going to, sort of miss this initial opportunity to lay down what I know is going to be important in the long term. What's going to be important in the long term goes beyond individuals. It's more about overriding sort of philosophy on, who we want to be as a team and the key people within that.
Ali.
Sorry to start with a bit of a personal one. I just wondered, over the years, you said that you built football clubs to kind of make your dad proud and the way you play football. But you've also said that he was quite a difficult man to please at times. I just wondered what he would have made of you now becoming the manager of Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. Yeah,
look, of course he'd be overwhelmingly proud, but, he'd be making sure that I was successful. And, look, I've spoken about, my dad a lot, and it's only as you get older and, you kind of realise the impact that your upbringing has on you. You become a parent yourself, and you kind of experience different things, and certain things rattle around in your head that maybe as a child you kind of dismissed. But he had a dream for his son, and I think in his mind, provided I did what he said, I was going to reach that, and sometimes I wasn't really happy with that. I wanted to do my own way, and I've charted my own path in many ways, but it's not just for my dad, my mum, my family, all the people who make sacrifices. It's not just for me. Anyone who's kind of reaches a certain level in their profession knows that they've done it on the back of, as much as your own sacrifice, other people's sacrifices, and you kind of hope you want them to take pride in the fact that, you wouldn't be sitting here today without their support and like I said, in my parents' case, the sacrifices they made.
And one player the fans are kind of fascinated, I think, to see whether he has a future under you is Tanguy Ndombele. Can I just ask you what it's been like to work with him in this first week or so, and is he going to be part of your plans this season?
Yeah, Tanguy's been good. He's he's working hard at training. But to be fair, they all are. They've got no option. Again, I take things as I see them, and for me, he's obviously a very talented footballer. He was part of a team that won the Serie A last year. So, and within that context, I'm pleased to have him here and part of the group. What that means long term, again, I'm not going to get into the definites of that because a lot of it will depend on sort of how the team how he shapes up. He may decide this is not for him. I'm not sure. It goes for any player, but like I said, the group we've had in so far have been really good and just embracing the change in direction and the way we're doing things. And as I said, once we get all the other guys in, it'll be great to see how everyone measures up, and the decisions will be made. Moving forward from there as to who's kind of going to be involved and who won't.
Just last one from me. Obviously, there's going to be some players that maybe don't go on the tour for a variety of reasons. Are there any that can't go or are doubts just purely because of injuries? Why not?
Not at the moment. We do have a couple who obviously Rodrigo has obviously got his injury. He's still a little bit off. Fraser Forster's got a bit of a back injury, which probably means he won't travel because he won't be able to participate. There's a couple of others who are kind of touch and go at the moment. We'll just see how they go next few days. It's about taking guys. I mean, for me, it's I'd really like as many of the group along as possible because it's the best way to figure out how we set up our environment and sort of the culture around the group if everyone's there. But if it's going to be beneficial for some guys to stay back, we'll make that decision. I don't think there'll be too many that be in that sort of boat at this stage.
George?
Hi,
James Madison, when he signed, said that about seeing a different Tottenham. In your mind, how do you want Tottenham to play this all comes in?
I guess without, again, sort of having too defined an approach to that is, I think anyone who kind of charted the course of my career will know that if you watch my teams play, they all have the same sort of basic elements in there, and that is, we want to be aggressive, we want to take the game to the opposition, we want to try and win every game of football, which I guess is not unique. Everyone wants to do that. It's just the manner in which we go about it and we'll go about it is that we want to be a team that tries to dominate games of football. Now, what that's going to look like, obviously my history is a bit of a predictor to that. And I've been pretty consistent in playing that way whichever level I've been at, whether that's domestically, international level, or in different countries or different competitions. So, everyone all right? Yeah. What this Tottenham team is going to look like, again, I don't want to limit that because I'm using different players here, some fantastic footballers. It could be something brand new that even I haven't put together before, hopefully, that's successful. But the elements of it will be that we want to be an aggressive team, a dominant team, a team that takes the game to every opposition, home and away. I think, for me, the history of this football club kind of suggests that that's the best fit for it. But, having said that, it doesn't mean it's the only way you can have success, but that's the way we'll be trying to do it.
And obviously, hugely excited by this challenge. I'm guessing a really difficult decision to leave Celtic after two brilliant years. Yeah,
it was a tough decision. Look, it's a special football club, and it's you know, if you've got a bucket list as a manager of football clubs you probably want to manage, that's probably one of them, because the supporters are you know, just, you know, as I said, they're not really supporters. They're, you know, the club is an extension of them as a family, and we had a brilliant 2 years, a great group of players, great staff. You know, we had some fantastic success and some great moments within that, and, you know, I'll cherish them. But, you know, I'm the kind of guy who always loves a challenge. I love a build. I love a rebuild. That's where I feel I'm at my best. And, you know, this challenge, when it came along, I just thought it had all the elements of what I need to get going again. And, you know, I know, you know, Celtic have appointed Brendan Rodgers, who's an outstanding manager. They'll continue to have success. They've got great players there. They've got, you know, great infrastructure, and like I said, it's a great football club. It's I was very fortunate to be allowed that responsibility for a couple of years, and now my goal is to try and make some special moments here and create something special for this great football club as well.
And I think you said before, it can take time for your philosophy to get into the players. Do you feel like there's a time frame in your mind when you sort of overthink and be thinking?
I don't know if I've said I'll take time. I think other people have said that, because it has wherever I've been, and it's varied. Sometimes, you know, it's taken longer than other clubs, you know, and again, I can't, you know, we might start the season flying, I hope so. I don't want it any time, you know, but you just don't know, and it will be how the players adapt to it, and it's not just the way we play, like I said, the way we train, the way we behave, the way we talk. I've got really good coaching staff together, which I'm really happy with. You know, they're working, they've already started working really well together as a unit. You know, to be fair, I wasn't really aware of it, but when I was sort of touted for this job, it became evident that people think I'm old. So I tried to get as many young guys around me as I possibly can, just to keep me relevant. And I'm really happy, because, you know, those guys, there's a combination of guys who know this football club really well, some others who are really ambitious coaches, and I love working with people like that. You know, I'm sure some of them one day will be, you know, managers in their own right, but, you know, right now they're putting all their energies to trying to make us successful, and I think it's great for the players, because when they walk into training and into this building every day, there's a real good energy, and that's going to be important for me. That's going to help me sort of transfer that message, you know, hopefully as quickly as possible, because the reality of it is the Premier League is the toughest competition in the world, and you don't really get time to sort of bed in. You know, from the first game, you know, we're going to have to be on it, and we're going to try and do our best in the next sort of 5-6 weeks to be prepared for that.
Thanks, Josh. Okay, we'll go Charlie and then finish with Roman, please.
I wanted to ask you, your predecessor Antonio Conte was very critical of the players, and other people have been as well. Just wondered, before taking this job, the extent to which you wanted to research into those sort of things, or you want to come in and, you know, sort of have ignorance is bliss and give everyone a clean slate?
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. I don't know if that'll work in this kind of role. I think you try and sort of understand as much as you can, you know, what you're walking into. But what I've found wherever I've gone, and, you know, like I said, I've been fortunate enough with kind of my coaching journey that I've experienced many different things, and I've learned to understand that no two places are the same, and you cannot try and then fit one mould into everybody in every organisation and every sort of group you have. And, you know, I've always found it's better for me to walk into a place and kind of get a feel for it myself and see how that sort of affects my thinking and my decision making, rather than come in with a fixed mindset of saying, because you do, obviously whenever you get a new role, there isn't a shortage of opinion on, you know, what's right and what's wrong and what needs to be fixed. But, you know, all those things are my responsibility, and I always feel it's better I get a feel for it, because, you know, you can't judge other people and what they say and what they do, because until you walk in their shoes. So for me to sort of look at sort of whether that's Antonio or any other manager who's been in this position and try and judge their actions on the way I would sort of react to something is wrong, because I'm not there, you know. The same way I wouldn't like it if anyone kind of was, you know, judging my performances on what I said without understanding the full context. So, you know, I walked into this role understanding the challenge that's before me, and looking forward to sort of embracing it my way, doing things my way, and not sort of being bogged down by too much of the historical context to that.
With that in mind, what are the things that have surprised you since taking the job?
I don't know if anything surprised me, but I think I just enjoy taking in, every new environment and the people that are within it, and trying to sort of understand, like I said, how that will affect me and what I want to do. That's so, so far, everyone's been, as you'd expect, everyone's welcoming because they all want to sort of be part of it. So you don't expect to walk in and not be welcome, but everyone has been very welcoming. And I think more importantly, everyone's been open-minded about the way we want to do things and hoping to get some direction from me, which is great because that's what that's what I'm here to do. But you see the size of this football club and its fan base. You kind of understand as an outsider, but when you're in it, you feel that sort of enormity and that responsibility even more so. So from my point of view, it's just about trying to get in my head a real clear picture of the way forward. And the quicker I got that sort of clarity in me, then the easier it'll be for those people around me to understand what we're going to do next.
What have been your key messages to the players?
Just about that, just about being open-minded and sort of not being, bogged down too much by expectation or like I said, history. Just understand that we are going to go down a different road, do things differently. Not because, I think it's better, because it's me. That's who I am. I'm different to the other managers that have been here, and I'll do things my way. And the more we have people have buy-in with that, the quicker we'll get to where we want to, because when there is resistance, it just slows the process down. But what I've made clear is it won't change the process. It won't change where we're going. It won't change me. It won't change the way we do things. It'll just maybe derail it for a little bit, and it won't derail it for long because I won't allow it. So the quicker they sort of jump on the train, the quicker we'll get to our destination. So that's been my message, and again, allowing people to sort of be themselves as much as possible, because when somebody new comes in the building, I don't want people to sort of be that uptight that I don't see the real them, and I try and hopefully put people at ease so they can be themselves, and then we can sort of create the kind of environment that hopefully allows us to do what we need to do.
Okay, Roman, we'll finish this section with you, please.
Hi, Andy. Welcome to the Premier League.
Thank you.
You've taken over a Tottenham side without Champions League football, without Europa League football, without Conference League football, finishing 8th in the Premier League. What will be success for you this season?
You've painted a pretty bleak picture there. I was excited about this role. I think, but to be fair, without sort of being dismissive of it, that's why I'm here. That's what I love about it, is that all that is not here, and that's what I want to bring. I want to bring success to this football club. I want to bring European football to this football club. I want it to be where it deserves to be, and that's as much as the excitement around joining a massive football club in the best competition in the world was attractive to me. The biggest thing about it was that there's an enormous challenge here. I love that. That's what I've done my whole career. Every club I've taken over after it's had a disappointing season or disappointing seasons. Because I think for me, that's the thing that I've cherished most of my career, is to do things that will last, make a difference, to create something that hopefully stays beyond my tenure, because I won't be here forever. So that, the kind of scenario you painted of where we are at the moment is what attracted me most about this role. What a great challenge, but what a great story if we get it right. So what does success look like? I think the fans will tell me that. They'll tell me that at the end of the year.
Thank you.